So Python 2.7 was retired. So as from the official sources, 2.8 will be retiring by April 2020. So we are supposed to install Python 3.x only. The latest version of Python 3 is this thing. If you want to see the full list of downloads of different platforms, you can see these things here. And so if you download, it downloads the binary based upon the operating system.
This conference will now be recorded.
It's a typical Nextclicks installation, but the one point is like we need to ensure to tick mark this thing. So this is the one which is responsible for configuring the environment variables, so which you can see afterwards its importance. So after checking up it, the rest of the things were defaults, just you need to do install now. So the moment you do the default settings, everything will be installed. Once it is done, we can see like how the installation was done.
This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
So now it's saying that so the installation was successful. Once the installation is successful, to ensure that both installation is done and the setup is done properly, we need to open the command prompt and just type Python. If you are able to see the screen, then it is there saying that it was successfully done. If at all it says that Python is not recognized as a built-in keyword or something, it means that configuration was not done. Then in that case, we need to configure the environmental variables separately. So if you want to see how the environment variables were set up, so this option is not needed in general, but if someone after installing they are unable to see this, just they need to go to the environment variables and see your corresponding environment variables. So if you say like path is the place where your environment variables will be there. So if it say like, see the paths, it is containing both Python 3.8 and 3.8. So two scripts will be there. These two paths will be added. So this is a place where actual our programs were installed. If we can just walk through that, you'll see that. This is a place where the binaries were stored. So once installation was done, so we need to have some IDE or an editor to work with. So the most popular IDE editor right now is Visual Studio Code, but it's an individual choice. So after going there, so we need to just download it. So either you can go with an editors like Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, or anything that feels good for you, or else go for an IDE like PyCharm.
This conference will now be recorded.
So now once we downloaded this, so Visual Studio Code, so we can just create it. It's a typical Nextclicks installation. So once this is done, so we need to install the Python extension within it. First of all, we should know a place where we want to save all the files. So maybe like I will take the documents or some other downloads or some other place, open folder, say like I want to place everything in documents. I can create a new folder, say like Python work. Just open this path. So I can just open like this. Now the folder is opened here. So here, so we can start like if you want to create a folder or a file, these will shortkeys. So icons to show. Let's say I want to do like something like introduction. Under that I want to create a file. Select hello world.py. See, the moment I installed as a .py extension, it is popping up for the recommendation. So what are the installation pop-ups it makes? So mainly it will ask for a Python setup extension, then for PyLint. So that's it. In due course of it getting downloaded, we can write a simple hello world program.
This conference will now be recorded.
So once it's done, it is asking for linter. So once PyLint, it will install. In due course, we can say like got it. So it is asking to upgrade the Python pip. So using this command, we can update the pip version. Yeah. So here, one more point you need to do is like open your terminal, and after this, so we need to click on the Python PowerShell default shell. Select default shell. So you should select as command prompt. This is one more action we need to do, because so Visual Studio Code by default will come with PowerShell, but we need command prompt. So once we change the setting, we need to close this Visual Studio Code and reopen it again. So what are the settings that we placed? It will get affected now. See, by default, command prompt is this thing now. Now, after doing this thing, so we want to execute it. So as we install the Python setup there, we can just do run Python file in terminal. This option will come once you install that extension, which we did in the starting. So in another way of how you can execute, we need to walk through that particular directory and then execute that particular file. So this is a way so we can make a simple setup of Python installation, and that's it.